Garrison Little Theatre is a volunteer-based community group which has been entertaining audiences since 1986. Cast and crew are gearing up for their premiere next week, and here to tell us about The Drawer Boy is director Eric Jeddry. Eric, thank you so much for joining me here.
Thank you so much.
So why don't you tell us a bit about the play? It's set in the 1970s on a farm in Ontario. Tell us about the history about that.
Yeah, this show has a really rich history, and it started in 1972, where a group of actors from Toronto went to the town of Clinton, Ontario to study farming so they could write a play about it. And then local farmer Ray Bird gave his barn as a venue, and they premiered the first show of The Farm Show, it was called, which was revolutionary in Canadian history, in Canadian theatre, because the people of Clinton, they didn't have to travel to Toronto to see a play. They could see it in their own backyard. And that was the start of the Blythe Festival, which was 50 years ago. And then years later, Michael Healy, playwright, was working at the Blythe and got to know some of these locals that housed the actors from Toronto in '72. And that influenced him to write a fictional play about those real events that happened. So it's really cool.
Okay, well, it sounds really interesting. And really, what was the influence to produce it here?
This show has always meant a lot to me. I saw it premiere while I was in theater school. So I saw it when I was 19 years old, really eager to act and direct. And I always wanted to direct this show from the first time I saw it. And it's always kind of stayed with me. And now it's kind of a full circle thing where I have an opportunity to direct it for the first time and really put my vision on stage.
And what's it like working with the actors with this specific show?
With this specific show, the actors are wonderful. We have a really talented group at Garrison Little Theatre, on stage and off stage. I just want to touch base on the women that are working behind the scenes, because a lot of people see this show and they see, oh, 3 guys and a male director. But behind the scenes, we have an incredible stage manager, Darka, our assistant stage manager, Catherine Kitchen, and our producer, Brenda. So we do have an amazing team of women that are kind of keeping us in line. And I think it's going to really resonate to a female audience. It's really touching and really sentimental. Be prepared for a laugh, but also maybe bring some tissues in your pocket.
Yeah. Yes, I do appreciate that, because I am one of those people who will sit there, and even when it's funny, for some reason I end up crying.
Me too.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Yeah.
Why don't you tell us a little bit more about Garrison Little Theatre? It's been around for decades. For those people who aren't familiar with it, why don't you tell us a bit about the history there?
So it's called Garrison Little Theatre. We used to be off Garrison Road, founded in 1986, and we've recently just moved to Ridgeway, keeping the same name. And now we are at Crystal Ridge Community Center in Ridgeway and using their space. I've been a part of the group since 2017, and I just have never left. So I'm always there to do set build or whatever is needed. And same with the rest of them. It's a really community-driven theater company, which is wonderful.
When we were talking a little bit earlier in the green room, you were saying how it really, truly is a family. And you've
100%.
watched some of these actors really grow up.
Yeah, that's right. In 2009, when I graduated, I started a children's theater company, which was influenced by Blythe, because they had a young company, sorry. And I started a community theater group in Niagara Falls. And my first student, his name is Aaron Millward, and he was 8 years old at the time. He is now 25 and married with a baby on the way. And he's going to be acting in this show. So it's a real full circle thing for me, and it means so much to do it.
I mean, when you get to work with a group of actors, I can only imagine it is a family feel, but when you've known them for so many years, that must really impact
100%.
The environment and kind of the vibe on set.
Yeah, and they are so good too. Like, we just saw, a group of us went to go see a professional production over the weekend, and I would have to say that the actors in my show are very comparable as far as like skill level. And these are all working professionals that do this on their spare time. You know, Aaron, who I just mentioned, is a millwright. So although he goes to rehearsal 3 nights a week, he's up at 4 o'clock, 4:30 in the morning to drive to Hamilton or wherever he's got to go. So the fact that these guys do this on their spare time and work so hard, it really just needs to be shown to everybody. And
Well, it's so exciting. So why don't you tell us, where can we get tickets?
you can get tickets at www.garrisonlittletheatre.com. And there you can buy your seats and know where your table is. Or, tickets will also be available at the door. So
Okay.
if it's a last minute decision and you're looking for something to do, hey, $22 for a ticket is wonderful. And much
Excellent.
like the Blythe Festival, you don't have to drive to Toronto to see good quality theater.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for joining us in studio,
Thank you
Eric.
so
I wish
much.
you all the best.
I appreciate it.